Have you ever imagined walking down the street or attending a public event and suddenly witnessing such an absurd scene that it seems straight out of a movie? Well, some people end up starring in exactly that. From bizarre protests to completely out of the ordinary behavior, many scenes recorded in different parts of the world impress and quickly go viral on the internet. These are the moments you are going to watch today. A video circulating on social media shows an incident involving a motorcyclist who, after being cut off by a car, tried to break the vehicle's side mirror, but ended up in trouble because of that attempt. In the video, whose location and date of the accident have not yet been identified, the motorcyclist speeds up to catch up with the car that cut him off, clearly dissatisfied with the situation. Then he tries to strike the car's side mirror, but with the momentum of the kick, ends up losing his balance and falling onto the road in a really bad way. The motorcycle flips over and still lands on top of him, while he is already on the ground. Well, he could very well have avoided all this hassle if he had just carried on normally, but he chose to make trouble and got what he deserved. Despite how serious the scene looks, the motorcyclist did not suffer any major injuries. However, the fall resulted in a considerable expense because his motorcycle was heavily damaged. A woman, intending to protest, decided to remove her clothes and walk around naked through the entire length of Miami International Airport in the United States, in a scene that obviously drew attention. In the security camera footage, we can see the woman passing by an area, first taking off her top part and then the bottom part, ending up completely naked there. She walks through the whole length of the airport like that, and right after, she is stopped by security guards who prevent her from remaining there in that state. The police were also called, since such an act is considered a crime. When the police arrived, it was discovered that she was doing this as a form of protest due to a problem with her luggage. She was taken to the police station and interrogated, having to answer for her actions. An Amazon delivery woman went through an embarrassing moment when she arrived at a customer's residence to deliver a package. From the security camera images at the location, we can see her arriving with the package, placing it on the ground for a few moments. At that same moment, a man passing by on the street invades the property, grabs the package, and runs away with it in his hand, leaving the delivery woman stunned. However, what she did not expect was that a few young people who were on the street would notice the situation and run after the thief to help her. Still in shock from everything that was happening, she rings the customer's doorbell, hoping he would come out to be aware of the situation. But before he answers, the young people return with the recovered package, and everything ends up fine. The delivery woman, with the package back in her hands, leaves it closer to the door and goes away. In 1 minute, the package was delivered, stolen, recovered, and delivered again. A woman, with no apparent reason, stopped her vehicle in the middle of a highway in Torrance, in the United States, and without any clothes on, climbed onto the roof of the vehicle, exposing herself in front of everyone passing by. Seeing that scene, drivers in the area decided to call the police, who immediately headed to the location. When they arrived, they quickly surrounded the vehicle and began the approach, asking her to come down from the vehicle and put her clothes on. However, she stayed on the roof and was even dancing, confronting the officers. Footage shot by other passing drivers shows the exact moment the police were there trying to carry out the approach. The incident generated so much buzz that it ended up in some local news broadcasts in the region and spread across the internet. According to some information, the officers initially tried talking to the woman and persuading her to come down, but she did not comply. It was then necessary to take action, and she was taken away in handcuffs to the police station, but this time already dressed. The driver of a car carrier truck was beaten by bystanders after causing an accident on the Fernão Dias highway in Betim, in the state of Minas Gerais in Brazil. The man was heading toward Belo Horizonte when he lost control of the car carrier he was driving and ended up hitting another truck. According to reports, after colliding with the other cargo vehicle, the truck driver reversed and almost hit other cars that were stopped on the road. In the video, you can see the driver damaging the vehicles he was transporting on the car carrier. Witnesses claim that the suspect was under the influence of psychoactive substances, and the information was confirmed by the Federal Highway Police. The man was assaulted by bystanders at the scene. Military police, municipal guard, and federal highway police vehicles were sent to the location. The lane toward Belo Horizonte was temporarily closed, and the man was taken to the hospital, where he would eventually be placed under arrest. A man shocked the world after footage from a security camera by the sea in Florida showed him walking calmly in the area, even with the evacuation alert and the approach of Hurricane Milton. Recently, Hurricane Milton was getting closer and would hit the coastal region of Florida with winds reaching almost 250 kilometers per hour. Many places were recommended for evacuation. However, this man surprised not only by not leaving, but also by walking right by the seashore, which was extremely turbulent, with heavy rain, right at the moment the hurricane was nearing the area. The images obviously impressed many people and were shared on the internet, causing astonishment. Luckily, the winds were not yet strong enough to blow him away. However, you can see that he had a lot of difficulty walking because of the wind, which was getting worse by the minute. Seattle, in the United States, has drawn attention for having areas where street prostitution is more visible and, let's say, normalized. The city, especially in the Aurora Avenue district, has been facing a rise in the number of sex workers on the streets, something that has sparked reactions both in the local media and among visitors. Street prostitution in Seattle is a long-standing issue, related to factors such as poverty, lack of housing, drug addiction, and a shortage of economic opportunities for the people involved. The authorities in Seattle have tried to address the problem through various initiatives, such as harm reduction programs, support for victims of sex trafficking, and police interventions. However, it is a complex topic, as it involves social, economic, and human rights issues. Many advocates argue that criminalization only makes the situation worse, and there are efforts to provide support and alternative opportunities for people who resort to sex work due to lack of options. The visibility of this phenomenon in Seattle may seem like the reality of the place for some, but there is an ongoing debate about the best way to deal with prostitution in a way that protects women's rights. A scene captured inside a bar shows the unusual and almost unbelievable moment of a man who, so absorbed in his cell phone, did not notice the robbery that was happening in the establishment, only coming back to reality after everything was already over. In the footage, we can see the man leaning against the bar counter, using his cell phone, while a robber enters and starts holding everyone there at gunpoint. The customers lie down on the ground, the cashier raises his hands, while the thief takes cell phones and money. But incredibly, the man remains there with his phone, in the same position, as if nothing were happening. He only puts the phone down and looks around after the thief is already gone. When he sees some people lying on the ground, he starts laughing, thinking it was some kind of joke, but soon realizes that a robbery had happened and his expression changes. The strangest thing of all is that the robber also simply ignored his presence, walking right past him and not messing with him at any point. The suspect steals the other customers' phones and the cashier's money, but does not even touch the man who is calmly on his phone. A woman was carrying a bottle of champagne on a flight, and when she least expected it, due to the drink being agitated, the cork popped off under high pressure, drenching not only her but also a few other passengers. In the footage she herself recorded, apparently, she wanted to open the drink normally to toast with her friends and celebrate their vacation. However, as she began to remove the cork, she did not realize that the gas was under pressure, which caused the cork to fly off, as well as the champagne, which gushed out with all that force, soaking whoever was in front of her. At least she managed to react quickly and covered the mouth of the bottle with her finger, preventing more of the drink from coming out. In the end, she and her friend who was next to her end up laughing at the embarrassing situation, both of them soaked in champagne. The good thing is that they took the situation with humor, as did the other people who did not complain. A video shot in the middle of a street shows an enraged woman walking beside a pastor while cursing and making a point of exposing the man in a very delicate and embarrassing situation. She was shouting, claiming that the pastor had sexual relations with her without using protection, promising to pay her for it, but now did not want to keep his word. Noticing all the noise in the street, a man began filming, and that was when the woman decided to expose herself even more, screaming in front of the camera and even asking if the man filming did not agree with her. Naturally, the video had repercussions and spread across the internet. Many people noticed the woman's mistake in confusing the agencies responsible for investigating the matter in case of a complaint, since she mentioned the medical examiner's office, which is responsible for deceased bodies. It was a little before 9 p.m. at night when a train passing through the Granja Julieta station in Sao Paulo in Brazil encountered or damaged the overhead power line, causing a short circuit. The bangs and flashes were seen even by people who were a bit far away, drawing attention to what was happening. Inside the train in trouble, passengers screamed and feared being shocked or injured by the fire that started on top of one of the cars. These were tense moments, recorded by a passenger and shared on social media. In the recording, you can see a man shouting and asking people not to touch any metal parts of the car to avoid electrocution.
O trem pegou fogo, velho, com nós tudo dentro, começou a estourar.
Fica tranquilo, vamos lá pra frente, gente.
Via Mobilidade, the company that manages the area, said in a statement that no one was injured and that its security agents assisted in the evacuation and exit from the site. Service returned to normal shortly before midnight. The car was damaged on top with burn marks from the fire, but fortunately things did not turn out more serious. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.